Today we are dissecting the career of an undisputable GOAT, a cultural icon, and one of the most dominant athletes in history, Serena Williams. Hi and welcome back to How You Win, the channel where we break down what actually makes people successful and cut through the noise of advice that sounds good but really doesn't. Now, if your first thought is she was a force of nature, a one-of-a-kind talent, doesn't apply to me, well, let me stop you right there. What if I told you Serena's unmatched success, her incredible longevity, and her legendary comebacks are not just the product of raw talent? What if they are the result of a learnable, predictable mental operating system? In fact, she is a perfect case study for the core principles I teach in my upcoming book, Master Your Lifescript. So today we're using that framework as our lens, and we're going to analyze Serena's journey to uncover the psychological tools she used to become a champion and how you can apply them to your own life. Let's get into it. Now, the first and maybe most powerful principle Serena mastered is what my book called distinguishing between two types of laws. This is the ability to tell the difference between unchangeable natural laws like physics, biology, and the core rules of the competition, and changeable man-made rules, which are just social conventions or their traditions or people's expectations. Most people get stuck because they treat social expectations as if they are unbreakable laws. Serena built her career by doing the exact opposite. She focused only on the natural laws of winning while systematically ignoring and often breaking the unwritten man-made rules of what female tennis in particular was supposed to look like and how a champion was supposed to behave and sound and act. So think about it. The man-made rules in tennis was that a quiet, Eurocentric aesthetic was predominant. So Serena arrived with a powerful, muscular physique built for dominance. She prioritized the natural law that power wins matches over the social rule that she should look a certain way. Now, the most famous example of this is the 2018 French Open when she wore a black catsuit. The French Tennis Federation, the guardians of the tradition, so to speak, they banned it, calling disrespectful.
Serena Williams will have to ditch her skin-tight catsuit when she plays at the French Open. The outfit that she wore earlier this summer will not pass the new dress code.
That's a man-made rule, but Serena, as she later explained, wore it for a crucial medical reason. Now, it was designed to help prevent the life-threatening blood clots she had suffered from. That is a natural law of her own biology. She chose the law of her own body over the rules of a committee. By consistently making this distinction, she freed herself from the psychological cages that trap other athletes, and it allowed her to focus only on what truly mattered for winning. Okay, so she breaks the rules, but what happens when she faces a setback so huge it seems like her career is over? That brings us to the second principle, which is the engine behind her legendary comebacks. It's overcoming learned helplessness. In my book, I explain that helplessness isn't a condition, it's a learned belief. It's something that happens when we interpret failure as being permanent, pervasive, and personal. Now, Serena's entire career is a masterclass in fighting this. She consistently reframes failure as temporary, as specific, and as controllable. There is no better example than her life-threatening health crisis in 2011. Now, she developed a pulmonary embolism, a blood clot in her lungs, and was off the tour for nearly a year.
The 29-year-old Williams was treated at a Los Angeles hospital. She's been sidelined by 2 operations on her right foot after getting cut by glass at a restaurant.
For any athlete, that screams, bam, it's over. Well, this is the ultimate trigger for learned helplessness. But how did she frame it? Well, in her incredible 2022 retirement essay for Vogue magazine, she described being so weak she couldn't even walk to her own mailbox. But did she see that as a permanent state? No, but as a temporary one. The problem wasn't her entire identity. It was a specific, a local health issue that could be solved. And her response was to see a solution as controllable through her own actions. She started with the smallest possible behavioral goal, walking to the mailbox and slowly, pragmatically building up her skills. And the result? Well, she didn't just come back, she came back and won Wimbledon the very next year. She proved that even a catastrophic failure, a setback, can be overcome if you refuse to see it as a permanent reflection of who you are. Now, this leads us to our final principle for today. It's revealing and rewriting your co-authored script. As I explained in Master Your Lifescript, we don't start life with a blank page. Our initial story is written for us by our co-authors, our family, our environment. Success requires us to eventually pick up the pen and write our own story. Now, Serena's story began with one of the most famous co-authored script in sports history. Her father, Richard Williams, 78-page plan to make his daughters, Venus as well, tennis champions. He was the original author, and for years her role was to execute that script. But true success, true fulfillment came when she started adding her own chapters. Now, she consciously evolved. She took the work ethic and determination from that inherited script, but she added her own self-chosen rules and the roles. The mother, the mentor, the venture capitalist with her firm, Serena Ventures. So a global voice for equality came up. Her decision to evolve away from tennis, as she called it, was the ultimate act of taking authorship. She was mediating between the different parts of her inner team. She had the warrior athlete on the one side and the mother who wanted to grow her family on the other side. So she consciously wrote a new ending to that chapter, one that was aligned with her values, not just the original script. So let's bring it all together. Serena Williams' greatness is not a mystery, it's a blueprint. First, she distinguished between laws, focusing on the physics of winning while ignoring the man-made rules of traditions. The second is, she overcame learned helplessness. She consistently reframed devastating setbacks as temporary and controllable problems. And third, she took her co-authored script and rewrote it, evolving from a champion into a legend in her own terms. This isn't just talent. This is a psychological masterclass in what it takes to win not just in sports but in life. This was just a brief analysis using 3 of the core principles from my upcoming book, Master Your Lifescript. If you want to be the first to know when the complete system launches and get exclusive pre-order bonuses and join the waitlist, the link in the description. You don't want to miss this. What part of Serena's journey inspires you the most? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into how you win. Thanks for watching.